Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Andy Jean here. I'm in the beautiful South Beach, Miami, Florida, and I'm with the one and only Josie. How are you today?
Good, Andy. Thank you.
This is amazing. It's amazing. All the way from Dominican Republic. Just for those who are watching, this is an incredible moment for us right now. We traveled all the way from Dominican Republic here to the Mike Ferry Conference, right, to pick up some gems. What are you doing here, Josie?
Get a little dose of city, living on an island. Sometimes you need to get off, get your dose of city, go back. But no, I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn from the best in the game, the OG. Like, this man has so much knowledge, and, he's been in the real estate industry since the beginning of the real estate industry. So he's got all the information to share. So I'm just here to learn from the best.
Well, I will say this. I have to admit, before I jump into like the meat and potato, we have to highlight, what RealtorDR has been doing and Dominican Republic on the Amber Coast primarily. You two have been a huge part, and that's given them, I would say, a huge momentum to really go global. And this is where we are today. What would you say about RealtorDR inside mechanics that gives them such a wide range? And I'm talking about Canada, Europe, Miami, all over the United States. Give me a little bit of that secret sauce.
We have hands down the best marketing on the island, not just the North Coast. Like, I've never seen another brokerage or agency that markets the way that we do. Yes. And, when 80% of buyers are coming from overseas, they're coming from Europe, they're coming from Canada, they're coming from the US, having online presence and having a strong marketing system in place is key. So that's like the one thing that differentiates us from everything. Like, I remember when I first started at RealtorDR, like all these other agents and brokerages, they're still like taking pictures of properties on their iPhones, and like their websites are confusing, and they're not paying for the advertising, they're not paying to grow and to expand. But since day one, like Bobby and Brett, their vision has always been to just grow as fast as possible and to invest into that growth. So now it's paid off. We're the fastest growing brokerage on the North Coast. So it's been amazing to see. I wasn't there from day one, but I was there pretty early on, and to just see the growth and the expansion has been amazing.
Well, the numbers don't lie, right? The analytics, something that I've seen internally at the company is that there's an amazing platform, right? I have to admit, Bobby and Brett believes in transparency, right? And this is something that I myself have experienced day one, where the transparency, and I would tie this into what Mike Ferry says, right? One of the things that we have to do as agents, as representatives, right, is to know our data, right?
Yeah.
And the analytics speak for itself, because we know that there's some foundational, I would say, old school, traditional ways of doing real estate. And I've seen some pushback, but you will be surprised how some traditionalists in real estate are not fond of social media. What do you say about that?
Like I said, if you're it's a little bit, determined on the market. Like, if you're selling real estate here in Florida, where the majority of your clients are just like referrals and, you door knocking and SOI and things like that. But because we are, an overseas market and our clients are coming from overseas, we need to have that marketing. We need to have a social media presence. We need to build trust with our buyers from the other side of the world. And the only way to do that is to, have an online presence and have a voice that they can relate to, and, to be their feet on the ground. And they need somebody like that, because they're buying from overseas. Like, last year, half of my transactions were done sight unseen. And of that half of those people had never even been to the Dominican Republic, but they trusted me because of my online voice, my online presence, my social media. They trusted me because I had that in place. So I think it's super important for our market specifically to have, a good social media.
Yeah. I mean, let's look at it, right? We live hybrid lives, right? I was having a conversation with my team and my partners earlier. Like, hey, when you think about our memories, right? It used to be we would think of the actual things that we did. But when we meet people now, we can remember meeting someone a year ago, but all of our memory is what they did online, right? Whether it's stories or their timeline, family, whatever. People have full-blown conversations like, oh my God, I saw you went to Disney World, traveled to this place, we had a great time, and I saw you. Yeah. This is reality. So it's almost impossible to accept or remove that presence. But I've seen you do great success with it. What would you consider, like, outside of just being in social media, what are the other work, the on-the-ground work that you're doing that's capturing people to come to the Dominican Republic?
On the ground? Yeah, I would say honestly, Andy, like, the work I do on the ground is from people, from my social media coming and I mean, that's just my target market. That's what it is. Like I have referrals and things like that, and like I'm known in the community, but everything I do, it's people from other parts of the world coming and meeting me here, and that takes up most of my time.
Can you tell me, not specifically who these people are, but can you give me a little bit of demographics of who they are, or actually showing interest in moving from a big country like the U.S., Canada, and going to visit and actually, pulling the trigger and saying, I'll get a condo, I'll get a villa.
Yeah. The majority of my clients are people who are about to retire. They're not quite ready, but what they want to do is they want to, invest their money, use that property as a cash flowing, investment property until they are ready to retire and move here and live here full time. So right now, a lot of my clients, they spend 6 months a year here. The other 6 months of the year, they're renting out their property. And, in 2 to 3 years, when they're ready to fully retire, they'll move into that property full time. And that's because they're seeing that the DR is a livable place. We have a stable government. The infrastructure is improving. It's the fastest developing country in Latin America. So, as that infrastructure improves and development increases, it's becoming a more desirable place to live. And so that's kind of my main demographic right now is people retiring here.
So it's not just leisure, it's business, right? You mentioned that, and this is what, typical people with money would do. They would say, I have a second home, I have a third home.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is you're bridging that gap, because an individual may say, well, I can't necessarily afford to have a big home out of the country, but I can buy myself a condo, a villa, have an escape, and still make passive income and build an ROI.
Yeah.
That sounds like legacy moves to me.
Yeah, it does. And even if they just start with like a small condo now, that condo by the time they retire in 3 to 4 years is going to appreciate. They could sell that off, buy something bigger if they wanted to. So it is an investment too, but...
So you're not an agent, you're actually helping build wealth and legacy.
Yeah, and, giving people...
So can I call you a superhero?
Absolutely.
Show you.
Please do.
Officially said it, guys. She's a super agent from Dominican Republic. She has a global reach. Her inventory, I think, cannot match anybody in our company or even on the island. Tell us a little bit about your inventory, what you got going on.
Right now, I'm kind of transitioning into luxuries. So I'm really focusing on, just like in the DR, anything above like 700, 800,000 is considered luxury. But yeah, that's like kind of where my passion is right now. So I'm focusing on the beautiful big villas. I think right now I have around 35 listings, but I'm trying to kind of narrow down the smaller ones and focus on the big ones.
Luxury. Now, when we say luxury, right, for those who understand luxury, define luxury in Dominican Republic. What are the features and attributes they're getting for luxury?
Yeah, so luxury would be considered something that's, newer, nicer, more modern, beachfront, something larger like a penthouse or, 4, 5, 6 bedroom villa. For example, Villa Meravilla is like the definition of luxury to me as far as current listings go. But yeah, just something that's, in that higher price point. And I mean, like, it's funny because $800,000, people think of that and they're like, that would buy you like not even a beachfront condo in somewhere like Hawaii or even in Florida, you know what I mean? So, but in the DR, like for $800,000, you could get yourself a beautiful beachfront penthouse, super luxurious. So it's just cool to see how your dollar goes so much further there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive into some other parts of this, right? Obviously, we talked about real estate. We talk about building wealth, ROI. But people want to know, like, what does entertainment, what does having fun on the island look like? You seem like a person that knows the island. I'm not judging, but they tell me some of the things that you do for fun when you're not selling luxury.
I love the North Coast specifically because it's so diverse. Like, I can go wake up at 7 a.m. and go surf. And then at noon, I can go hike in the mountains. And then at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, sunset, I can go to the river and float and have a barbecue on the river. And the landscape is so diverse that your options are just limitless. And if you want, if you want to go to the beach and just pick one of the restaurants that are on the beach and just, listen to live music or whatever you want to do, you can do it there and you can do it year round because it's eternal summer. There's always something to do.
All right.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap it up shortly, but this is what we want to do, right? I know who you are. You have a lot of great clients, but what can someone do tangible right now to connect with you, myself, or RealtorDR? What are the tangibles they can do right
Yeah. Right now you can go on my Instagram account, Josie Sells DR, my YouTube account, Josie Sells DR. That's kind of where I'm the most active. I have a lot of, YouTube videos, property walkthrough videos, and lifestyle videos. So if you want to know like what it's like living on the North Coast, you can go there and get a lot of good information.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We are here in the beautiful South Beach, Miami. We've revisited some incredible places, so stay tuned. You're going to see some amazing things. Thank you, Josie.
Thank you, Andy.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
My pleasure. Right? Thank you.